Hello and welcome to this Warno 2v2 game. Today we've got Krepp and Helljumper, the French duo, playing as two Krepp divisions, Ninth US and MBAD. They're not particularly competitive, and they're up against Skiffik, playing as 25th, which is probably one of the best new divisions, and 56th, which is a very good division. Today we're on Mount River 1v1. So this is really going to help Red because they should just grad spam everything. I'm not seeing a fob. 56 wide does not get a fob. I believe 25 wide does, so he should have bought a fob for 56 wide so that he can bring his two 1-vet grads and just level everything. So a bit of a lack of team play there, but looking at the deployments, basically we've got two early air out from Krepp and Helljumper, one jet each. On the far left, we've got MBAD, so MBAD can really rush at least to here at the start. The idea behind MBAD is that they've got these Special Forces airborne deployed Milan Jeep, so this actually goes at 120 kilometers an hour. Because of the Special Forces trait, and it's got the airborne forward deploy. And then you back that up with a forward deployed AA called AMTP Javelin, which he's not actually brought. And then you've got forward deployed AA as well. And so you could easily get these to here at the start and just shoot everything coming down this road. But sadly, he's not doing that. Which is a shame. He's sort of giving up his superiority there. Like, he should be here really shooting down that road. And then once it gets overwhelming, you just pull back to the next line. Just keep shooting down that road. But yeah, we've got minstrels and stuff. Not really using that airborne advantage that they have. Because 56 wide, despite being a VDV division, actually only has like one or two airborne deployed units. And that's the Spetsnaz Grease Stingers, which, don't get me wrong, really good AT. It'll kill 4 units, basically, if they run at you. But he is only one man, and you are many, so basically you open helicopter. What if it's a 1v1, you can't really open helicopter because there should be 4 of these. But yeah, you can definitely use that airborne advantage to take some positions at the start. And I feel like they're being a little bit conservative here, but yeah, taking that and that is probably sensible. And then, yeah, the Milan 2 in... Oh, that's weird. So, religious people can see further than atheists in this game, but this one actually can't see that. This church actually can't see that far. So that is weird. But I guess it's because this is in the way. So that's the power of farmers, I suppose. Like, farmers can... Whoa, I never realized how powerful farmers were. So religious people could see quite far, but they can't see past the farmers. Whereas the farmers can see over the top of the religious people. Look, you can see all the way back here. So yeah, farmers beat religious people in the meta. New knowledge, new knowledge. This is why you keep watching, right? Because we learn together. We learn together. I didn't know that. In terms of the map as well, the map is a little bit red-sided because you get this farmer's building here, this farmer's building here, and this farmer's building here, which gives you 3 very powerful positions to put ATGMs in that blue basically always has to destroy if they want to get anywhere. But given this airborne forward, like basically you could put 2 here, right, and then get a couple of these airborne units and actually go for this, and you should be able to get it because if especially with this recon deployed, airborne deployed special forces jeep, it will get here really fast and it will shoot whoever's coming down this road. If he went for it, sadly he's not. And so you could shoot whoever's coming down this road, and then your airborne guys can actually go for these buildings. So big shame he's not done that. Big shame, but whatever. And yeah, so we got Helljumper on the left, Krepp on the right. And yeah, so we got 2 50 cals, airborne, 2 minstrels, airborne. Generally don't want the minstrels in the same buildings as the 50 cals. Obviously, you don't have a lot of choice here. But yeah, there should definitely be a 50 cal going to here, and I'm surprised there's no Milan 2 in this, but I guess he's got the LSV Milans, so he thinks it's not necessary. And yeah, an FSJ Aufklärer. Like this one should definitely be at least going for here. And the Scimitar and the Milans, and then this thing which is from Krepp's side, and it's like a TOE2, but you see it starts further behind. It is 120 kilometers an hour, but actually, so it's this one. It's just the Special Forces traits aren't represented on the stat card, and yeah, let's go to the same place as yeah. Oh, okay. So here's the toe. Here's the ATGM. It's coming in a Black Hawk. Okay, that's fair enough. And then yeah, some weasels, which are just like Reese's pieces. They're not very good. I mean, they don't have smoke, which is kind of annoying, but they do have good stealth and they're pretty fast, which means that you can send them into forests and get them behind people and stuff like that. Which makes them useful. I certainly lost a game against many cigarettes because he. Sorry, I am a bit under the weather. I'm trying to drink this hot chocolate with honey in it to soothe my throat. Um, I'm sure whatever I was saying wasn't important. So then we've got a supply vehicle. We got Krepp on this side. So this is like not great team play. Certainly, like it's supplying this TOE2 here. That's pretty brainy. Focusing most of your guys on this side where all the points are is pretty brainy. There's only two here. So like, yeah, these can't go for that anyway because there might be one Spetsnaz Screw Stinger coming down that road. So okay, this makes sense, I guess. But if you're planning to be defensive, oh, that's the CV doing that funny dance. If you're planning to be defensive, then two FS Jaegers more than enough. Even one, because they've got the Panzerfaust 3. Even one would be enough if you want to be defensive. And then in which case, you can do your forward deployed attack on Paul with one of these LSV Milans zooming down this road and getting to here at the start. Zooming down this road and getting to here at the start, like back here, so you don't get shot by a tank gun. You could do a pretty effective attack on Paul. But instead, that's been left to ninth, which just does. I mean, just giving your friend, giving your brother in this case, one forward deployed unit would be nice. Instead of just letting him fend for himself. This sniper's really good though. It one shots 4 HP helicopters. A proper Modern Warfare 2 quickscoper, the Barrett 50. Although I was more of an intervention guy. Actually, I couldn't aim at all, so I just used the M21 EBR. But anyway, that's besides the point. So, supply 40mm grenade launchers are good. TOE2A there, yeah. And yeah, he has put a light rifles here, which is sensible. MP Patrol there, yeah. 2 Avengers, okay. I mean, the Avenger versus Stinger argument is always ongoing. They both keep changing. Certainly at the start, the Avenger's really useful because it can fire lots of missiles. Yeah. And then, yeah, 2 jets, which then makes you think, well, what are the Avengers for? Do you know what I mean? If you've got the 2 jets, why do you bring the Avengers? Maybe one Avenger would have been a better shout. But it would be nice to get an Avenger over to, or a Stinger over to here at some point. Basically, it's just the Avenger has bad stealth, which means that you can't hide it in a forest in the same way that you can hide a Stinger or a Minstrel, which has exceptional stealth. So that's the trade-off there. Switching to their opponent's deployment. We got no grads, no fobs, no fobs. So basically, 56Y is OP, and one of the reasons it's OP is that it gets 2 grads at 1 vet in 1 card. No other division in the game gets that, which means that when you put a CV next to it, they're 2 vet with an 80-second reload time, which is absurd because I think the default is like 130 or something, and something like an RM70 is like 180, right? Anyway, so basically, Skiffik here on 25 should have bought Queen Atla a fob to use. But yeah, what can I say? Not enough team play. So yeah, I think these divs are better, but they will have a worse early game, or they should have a worse early game. So we've got Queen Atla on the left. Well, this is a Skiffik unit. Okay, so they're just both false in left, and they've only put a couple units here. So CV, Conkers, Motorized Resvedka, and... Oh, wait, we never actually... No, we did finish this deployment. They've only got one CV. Now, I don't agree with that at all. I think you should at least have two. Because, yeah, that's... Like, for starters, if you're getting an FS Jaeger up to here, you should be expecting to take this building. Like, why not put the FS Jaeger here? Or even in this forest and then just run in, right? Because you obviously don't know what's coming the other way. And then, this CV, instead of doing that, you can just wait here until you kill the guy who's in here and then just send it this way and then you get in, right? But whatever. Yeah, so Conkers, Motorized Resvedka, and BMP 1. Okay, so I would have put a Spetsnaz Stinger there on that side because if Helljumper knew about this, obviously Helljumper probably assumes there was a Spetsnaz Stinger there, and that's why he's unloaded here, right? So yeah, unloading here at the start is not a good idea because the enemy will get there first if he's got airborne forward deployment. But yeah, it's kind of weird not doing that because it means that if Helljumper had gone for this, he would get it, and all this would be here threatening Olga, and then you'd have to be reinforcing Olga for the rest of the game, even if he doesn't intend to take it. You'd have to reinforce it because you get an FS Jaeger to here, then you just cross this little gap here, and then you bring it over to here, and then you're in a world of trouble basically because you could sort of get it in the back lines and so on, send the weasels over there, stuff like that. Anyway, so it's two Spetsnaz Grustinger here, and they are going for this point. And then 3 Resvedka BTR 60s, 2 BRMs, this thing's crazy. It's like a mega shilk, but it can't shoot planes, but it has exceptional optics. It's got ground surveillance radar on it, and it's got mediocre stealth because it's a recon unit, and it's basically just like a really good IFV in terms of DPS. But it's not cheap, right? Yeah. So, okay, so Resvedka BTR 60 and T64 recon tank going there. And then, okay, so there's a lot of units here. So, supply here, and that's probably going for the Cubs. Yes, so there's 2 Cubs going there. Then, mortar for smoke, yes, big fan. I think he's unloaded it a bit close, because you won't be able to smoke very fast, basically. If he needs rapid smoke, you want to unload it at more or less just under max range, like here, basically, and then you'll be able to smoke that. But whatever, it depends what you want it for, how early you want to use it. 2 Saperi and MTLBs. That's rare. That is rare. It's 15 points, like, and but it's not got smoke, right? I don't know. I don't like it. And then 4 Conkers, 1 for here, which honestly, why isn't it? It should be going in the church, really. Although it depends. If you want to shoot across here, then you can't put it in the church, so maybe not. 1 in the grain silo, 1 in front of the grain silo, and 1 to here. And then 2 BMP 2Ds, courtesy of the 56Y quote-unquote airborne player who gets regular BMP too. So. This squad is really good, by the way. I mean, it really probably shouldn't be 40 points at all. It should be 45, because if you compare that to arm rifles, you get an RPG that literally has 1,025 meters range for some reason, and shock, and it's the same price. So that's weird. So yeah, that needs to... make a note of that, actually. I mean, no, I don't. Whatever changes you don't agree with, I had no input in. And whatever changes you do agree with, that was all me. And then a T64A OBS. So yeah, these... One of the reasons 25 is so strong is that the T64s get really high availability. And this one's a pretty crazy unit for 150 points. You compare this to like a Chieftain. It's doing a lot more for for a similar price. And yeah, like 10 ROF and stuff like that. I don't know. 2 Strellas and a CV, which hasn't been passed properly. So we'll see if he notices that. So let's cast the game. We'll do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and I'd like to take the time to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joinering the channel. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, get members exclusive videos. I do apologise for being ill, but, you know, I got videos to make. I enjoy making the videos. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's rewarding, and I like publishing the videos. I like getting the feedback. I like people saying, good job, Hippie. Yeah, see, it's now updated that. He must have pointed it out. Yeah, he must have told him, look. Anyway. Oh, mate, it's routed. That is so annoying when that happens. But yeah, imagine if those LSVs have been path better. I do like this, that, oh, yeah, and then it hits twice, and it's just so sad. Can we get 50 likes? But if it had been a bit faster, he would have got it. I'm surprised he's evac'd it, given that he could have done that again. But, yeah, whatever. Like, they've left the F-16 up, and evac the Eagle. Should it be the other way around? But whatever. Yeah, so pretty rough for blue, because their early game is better, and they haven't really got much done here. I do like this Buccaneer strike. This is the sort of reason you leave the Eagle up, to tell you the truth, because you need to defend this. And it hadn't used any of its missiles, so why not keep it up to prevent early bombing runs? Okay, so he's coming for this Conkers. I think this might be the death of him. He needs to evac that straight away. He did not. The Cubs will now shoot. Oh, the Cubs did not shoot. The Cubs were on fast path. Ah, mate. Yeah, that wasn't great. Basically, he should have just stopped them. I think then he used attack move or right-clicked it, because you saw how the missile just went wee. That was because I did a video on this a while back. It's called Stop Attack Moving Your Radar AA. If you just stop it, you've got to also turn cover off, otherwise it starts trying to walk to the nearest tree, which is really annoying. Then, as soon as the enemy leaves your range, it will keep tracking for 2 seconds, unless it starts moving. If it's on attack move, it'll just move, and then you've had it. So, I do like this. I think this is very smart. This is very, very smart. Smoking off the enemy ATGM so you can run in. Or in this case, try to do an amphibious invasion without having the infantry loaded into the transports, and therefore simply leaving the infantry. Oh no, I see why. It's because it's not his infantry, so he can't actually. Yeah, so it would have to have been this one, because this can't go in that vehicle because it's not his. You can't do that, even if it's a team game, right? So Weasel's suffering Weasel problems. These 81mm clusters, if you've got recon, are actually pretty good. The corrected shot on them is really good, and they're only 40 points, right? They're not as good as the 56Y cluster mortar, but they're also 6 times cheaper, 6.5 times cheaper, so you get what you pay for. Yeah, I do like the smoke usage. I think it's very brainy, very big brain smoke usage. And I really do think that Blue should not have just spent loads and loads and loads of money on artillery right here, and should have focused instead on trying to get some extra units over here. So, over here, you know, Helljumper, he could move this FS Jaeger into here, and then he'd be gaming. And he should also be moving up that Milan and that Minstrel. So you move this into here just to see, and then you don't stick around. You move forwards. But instead, he's given his opponent time to reinforce. And over here, Krepp has a massive force superiority here, but he's not really using it. Like, he just needs to run over here and just see what's going on. Just send one unit. Send one unit. It's preferably a high HP one, like the light rifles dragon. Just get in there, because basically right now, Helljumper is 2v1. Because all of Skiffik and Atla's units are here. So this FS Jaeger is now doomed. Although this guy could literally just move... Is this on defensive or something? It's like, why is it... You just move that far as you kill it. I don't know. Weird. So yeah, big artillery investment. But yeah, I mean, blue's never going to win the artillery war against red. Personally, I think if this was blue's lobby, I think they shouldn't have allowed this game to be played on such a narrow map, because the narrower the map, the more packed it's gonna win. So it is tough. And yeah, I just there's just such an overabundance of units here, and they're not doing anything. It's very sad. Oh, he's doing something now. But like, this should be moved up. This should be moved up. This should definitely be helping out. You know, send the Sui forwards. Well, I don't know even why you would have that unit, but whatever. So yeah, over here, I do like the smokes, and I was assuming that he bought these cluster mortars so that they could kill the smokes, because they would kill them, but it appears not. The Buccaneer HE has 10% less ECM than every other Buccaneer. I really don't like it. You see it didn't drop its bombs there, and now it's dead. So that's standard Buccaneer moment, especially when it's only got 20% ECM for some reason. Very sad. So, yeah, here you go. So BMP2s are amphibious, and there's very few maps where that's useful. This is one of them. I do like it for that reason. He's bought another Buccaneer HE. That one was a bit luckier. But yeah, they really should be aggressively focusing on the smoke mortars. Ah, there you go. They did actually get one there. So there must have been 3 here. So yeah, very good. Just focusing on that. The copperhead rounds. You want uncorrected shot units, because basically these have corrected shot. But yeah, this is not going well for Helljumper. Krepp's starting to come and help now, but basically this is not going well for Helljumper because he is 1v2. And Krepp really needs to be pushing this. Like, there's one unit there. I do like this. I think this was very smart. He's done a good job there. Hitting that was very lucky, given that it's low cohesion, so it loses 75% accuracy. 75%... 25% of 65 is what? Like 16? But yeah, this is just not great at all, mate, for blue, and they really need to be pushing this. There's so many guys here. There's so many guys here. This is so sad. Can we get 50 likes? And there should be a military police vehicle with this. Here it is. So that should be clicked on this to reduce the National Guard debuff. Somehow in all this, blue is actually winning. Given the fact that this hasn't been capped yet. But positionally, they're losing pretty badly. They just bought way too much RE. Like, instead of these, each one of these 105s should have been a tank. Obviously, Helljumper doesn't get tanks, but yeah, these two, they are useful, right? I do the same thing where you bring them at 2 vet, but honestly, like, they are really useful. But when you're being pushed like this, you needed to buy some M60s, which aren't great, or light rifle dragons, and yeah, but yeah, you see, you got a cub there because of the corrected shot, and yeah, there just needs to be more of a focus on trying to kill these mortars whenever they stop moving. I think the problem with these, which he's sending all the way back here, is that they've only got 5,600 meters range, so from here they're not actually going to be able to shoot. Their max range will be these units here. So, seeds... This is like the worst seed plane in the universe. It has 10% less ECM than every other seed in the game. It's only got 30% ECM. So yeah, it's just not a good div. If this was a 1v1, he'd have more of a chance. But in a 2v2, you can't really use the mobility of the division. So, Krepp wakes, and he's just walked in, because there wasn't really anybody here. And now he needs to get the CV in as fast as possible, and start setting up, you know, like teams here. Try and get this. The whole point is to try and shoot the side. Also, the grain silo needs taken out, and the church. Just commit some war crimes, destroy enemy food, destroy enemy religious buildings. You're basically the IDF. And then the enemy loses its tall places, right? You blow up its grain silos, you blow up its churches. And that's the optimum way to play, right? There's no Geneva Convention in this game. But you do get people complaining about smoke every day. I do see that a lot. But you see, he is moving them, right? But imagine if he... Oh, there you go, see? They're actually trying to kill it. It's kind of hard with the tools they have. If you've got a grad, you can just grad it. But yeah, I'm quite surprised with Red's purchases. The smokes for mortars for smoke have worked very well. The Giant S, it is worth getting a Giant S. But, yeah, a grad on this map is absurd. Because all of the points are tiny little squares. So you can just grad all this. Grad all this. Grad all this. Great map for Pact. And that's why I say the narrower the map, the better it is for Pact. Because, especially in team games. Because there's less places to... The unit density is higher, so MLRS does more damage. But yeah, that's the power of the 81mm mortars there. That's those cluster mortars. That was those cluster mortars, I think. It wasn't these, because they were smoking either side. So yeah, the cluster mortars, they are decent. So that was very lucky. I'm surprised, because weren't there two cubs here? Oh, I killed one. Okay. And you see it takes 2 shots to rout a unit with a cub. So cubs are really strong now. I'd be more of a fan of... Well, I don't know, because you could say we'll drop them back down to 3 per card, but we finally stopped air spam. And we don't want to really bring it back, do we? So... I'd be more of a fan of making IHawks 4 per card or something. Make it fair, you know, for those poor 10v10 players. But also, like, there's no tracked IHawks in the game. And no Tomcats yet. I say yeah, I don't know if it's ever coming. But yeah, this is going about as well as you'd expect it to go for MBAD. But 9th US has had much better luck on this side. I'm surprised he's not bought the funny thing, the coffin launcher, the American coffin launcher, because, you know, for attacking this position it would have been great if there was anybody there. And, you know, here it would be really good as well, because if you own this side and they own this side or something, you can just hit those buildings. Right, I think you can, because it's only, the range is quite limited. It's like 1,750. But yeah, from behind this building, you'd be able to hit this building. And, you know, when you're here, you can hit over here. It's a really good unit. But yeah, here we go. So he has actually moved up. They need to commit more war crimes, basically, on the NATO side. I don't know, I mean, are they even role-playing as NATO, bro? You gotta destroy the civilian infrastructure. You gotta destroy the great... This needs to go. The enemy has it, it needs to go. This needs to go. This needs to go, but they're all here. They're all here. There was an FS Jaeger here, and now there's not. So I'm not sure what happened to him. Maybe a bomber got him, because the BTR-60's gone. But yeah, basically, if Blue had held this, they'd be able to put guys here. And that would help them getting back into this zone, because if you're just coming on this narrow bit here, for starters, you're getting ATGM constantly. But also grads, which we're yet to see. We're yet to see any grads. Very strange. Very strange. So... there was a Hellfire launcher here. I guess it got killed by a tank or something. Did he lose one of these? He used to have... Oh, there's actually 3 there. Yeah, don't do this. Don't do that. That's a really bad idea. 1 giant S round and all 3 of them will die. Sadly, he's not aiming for it. But yeah, this is just terrible for Blue. They, like, both of these divisions, the complementation isn't really there. They're both good early, but they're both bad late. So yeah, they're both bad on the defense. Sorry, they're both bad on the offense and good on the defense. So Uh, you know, a lot of people, when I say things like that, they say, well, why? It's because I said so, so shut up. But basically it's because you don't have good armor, right? You need good armor. ATGMs are a defensive unit because you need to stand still to shoot them, and the units they come in are almost always on low armored vehicles, unless you're packed, right? Obviously the T-64s, BVs or whatever have ATGMs coming out of the barrels, but in most cases ATGM vehicles are you know, thin-skinned vehicles, and so if you... I mean, I'm surprised it didn't just dart. Oh, yeah, it did. Ah! The missile didn't even... Like, where did the missile even go? It's just not good. You see how this is only 20%? Yeah. And yeah, that's another thing. The narrower the map, the better it is for packed, because NATO can't really use its air power. NATO tends to get better air. That was a good dodge. And the narrower the map, the easier it is to saturate the field with cubs. And just, like, because, like, one cub, right? Look at the range. This is the outer circle. Do you see that? This is the outer circle. So you put it here, you cover actually the whole map. So yeah, very narrow map. Anyway, where's the grad? I just find this really strange. This is the perfect grad target. You'll never get a better grad target in high level play than these zones, because he basically has to be in them, right? What would be cool to see from Krepp would be smoke here, and then run some of these guys in and get to here. But yeah, but yeah, basically, if you've got bad armor, like the M60s are just really overpriced for what they are. Like, why is it 135 points? Where's that 150 one? Has it died? It was called like OBS or something. Here it is. So for 150 points you get 20 pen. Obviously it's got two pips less range, right? But 17 pen at the same range. You get 16 armor, NSVTs, etc. For 135 points, 15 points less, you get 4 less armor. 1 less top armor, which is very, very important. There's just something about all these pack tanks getting 3 top armor that makes them a lot better than comparative tanks. Oh, T-62 still 2. But basically, the fire rate on this is higher because it's got an auto loader, so it doesn't go down with like right now, because this is low cohesion. Its fire rate, oh, it's just gone up. That's annoying. It's less, believe me. Basically, this thing's too expensive. It's got more range, don't get me wrong, and that means that the accuracy at the same range is probably higher. So, I didn't even know this div got that unit. I didn't even know this div got that unit. On this map, it's useful, because it's so narrow, you can't miss, basically. I think he got some B and P2s there. But yeah, if you've not got good armor, you struggle to push. And they just need to stop buying planes. I mean, you can't kill all that AA. Having said that, now you know where it is, you can start shooting it. The L-16s are firing? No, they're not. I think they're too far away. But yeah, you see that they're actually really not bad. Like, I'm really impressed that Helljumper's managed to start getting back in here. But there needs to be a bit of smoke on the go here if you want to push across a field like that, otherwise it's just not happening. And yeah, they need to take this out. And okay, so they finally clocked that. Oh, actually, we can just come in on this side. So that's good to know. It's just the way the map works, because most of the actions over here are over here if you're on this side. People just kind of forget about this. It's really interesting. The psychology of this game really interests me. Obviously, you probably don't care, but now you have to listen. You don't really have a choice. These zones, like, you can play the exact same map with completely different zones, and people will play the map completely differently. And obviously, you know, you'd expect that to happen, right? Because you've got a control zone to win. But even things like this, right? because you've got a spawn here, and most of the zones are here, people just forget about this side of the map. I do it all the time. Loads of people do it. Everybody does it. And that's because there's no zone here. If there was a zone here, people would fight on this side. I actually think they should put a zone here. I think they should put +1 there. Or, get this, right? Stop making the zones tiny little squares that you can grab the whole square, right? Balance Man is gone. We don't have to listen to his inane ideas anymore. And just make this wider. There you go. There you go. Now people will fight here. I've saved Warno. Anyway, Krepp's having a pretty bad time. He did try and smoke there. He did succeed in smoking there, but the guy died as he threw the grenade. And, yeah, this thing takes ages to reload. It shouldn't... Like, it is kind of bad. Compared to, like, the packed equivalents. It is kind of bad. Especially the HE one's really bad. Like, I've been playing a lot of 10v10 recently. And, Pack just has such a better time in 10v10, it's unreal. And, like, this is one of those reasons. NATO does have MLRS, it's just the MLRS is worse. And it's not necessarily worse because it should be. It's just like, some of the units have just been forgotten about. Like the M240, M270 HE is bad. It's just really, really bad. It's like the Eurogun. They're both bad. But NATO doesn't have a grad equivalent. The Lars 2 doesn't really count. It's decent, but it's not as good as a grad, and it's also not as ubiquitous as a grad. I do like the attempts to try and take these out, but while I've been yapping, Helljumper's sort of managed to get back in here. I think he'd have a much better time if he smoked up some of this, because he's just getting smacked around by armoured stuff, although there's not actually that much of it left. His mortar ability has really done a number on on red stuff, so don't sleep on these 81mm mortars. They are really good. But yeah, he needs to get a CV in here, and he could have done it a long time ago if he brought it this way, or used these, for example. He probably just assumes there's somebody in here, but there isn't. And yeah, he needs some smoke, because the BMP2s keep killing him, or he needs loads of ATGMs to deal with that. Like, this coming this way, it's worked, but it probably shouldn't have. This should have killed it. So yeah, power to him. He's actually managed it. And he got a supply up for the Milan too. I'm flabbergasted by 56Y's lack of grads here. They get the best grad card in the game. And they're not... Like, this is the perfect map for grads. I can't remember if 25th Soviet gets grads. I'd be surprised if it didn't. But it might not. I think it just gets the Giants, the Misters, the Acacias, stuff like that. But the 56, yeah, the 25th player should have bought the 56th player a grad. Here we go, cluster coming in. But these are good. Don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on them. 40 points. It's good. You've got to have that corrected shot, otherwise it just doesn't work. But they are good. And they're not moving. So they should have been killed a very, very long time ago by enemy counter battery. And if you really want to kill a toad mortar, you use a grad, which, for the 11th time, has not been purchased. So blue's winning again. So power to blue. I'm not sure how they did it, although there's not really anybody left here. They need to get... Oh yeah, this is good. He's got that up there. Although, this is the mediocre stealth one. I'm surprised he's not gone for the Humvee Tow 2. And the... Because this is only mediocre stealth. Whereas the Humvee Tow 2 is good stealth. Having said that, this is 15 points cheaper. Oh, mate, he's not paying attention. This is so sad. Can we get 50 likes? One like is one prayer for these FS Jaeger. Who died so hard that their bodies aren't even in the transport. They've just been atomized. So, yeah, looks like it's Helljumper's turn to get pushed out the zone. Over here, Atla did manage to get a CV in and then got it back out again, I guess. But yeah, I would love to see some smoke from Krepp, although I've noticed his mortars have been counter-batteried. And smoke this and then get in. Or just walk in. I mean, you got this here, you know it's empty. You know it's empty, right? I don't know, weird. He's probably out of tanks. I mean, there's been a lot of grinding here, right? But yeah, what can I say? Light rifles are actually a pretty cost-efficient unit. They're the old mech rifles, basically. The 65 points for that is decent. Because they're 10 men, right? And they've got 3 machine guns. Woo! The bendy missile got him. Who uses this? Man, don't use this. Although, well, maybe it is useful. Like, it's way better than the base rapier. The base rapier is so overpriced, it's unreal. And then people say things like, well, Hippie, why don't you fix it? Don't really have a solution to that. Yeah, so the smoke is smoking. I do like the counter battery attempts. One of the advantages behind this cluster thing is that it aims really fast, which lets you take things out like this quite quickly. But with it, how far away it is out of the range basically. Yeah, and the dispersion would be quite high. Because yeah, the thing with 81mm mortars is that they've got a direct impact to do any damage, and that's why this is good. Because with the corrected shot, it does direct impact with almost every shot. So it's very, very powerful gameplay. Looks like Skiffik hasn't been spending his points for a while. These guys really need to get these over here. They are. Oh, mate. But yeah, this thing is really good as well. It's just... It is cluster, and blue doesn't have good armor, so it's not really paying for itself here. The copperheads are out of ammo. Helljumper's 105s have been firing basically all game. Same with his clusters. But the only downside is that they really shouldn't be together like this. One giant S round could have killed all that ages ago. He's just refusing to do it. Sad. Anyway, 12 minutes left. Still no grad. I cry every time. And yeah, still +2 for blue because they own mid. So it's going pretty well for blue. I mean, you can just tell though that as the game goes on, they're just getting thinner and thinner on the ground here, whereas these divisions scale a lot better. Here we go, CV's here now. That'll stop the tick, and it'll actually make it a +2 to red. But yeah, I really like the smoke play. Over the time that I've been playing this game, I've seen more and more people use smoke, and I'd like to think that's partially because I literally say every single game I upload 1 video a day. I've been doing that for over a year now, and I say once a day, once a game. No, way more than once a game. I say several times a day that people should bring smoke. Quite rare to see those in the Black Hawk. Bit of miscommunication there. I mean, obviously this is here, right? So you didn't really need to destroy that, but there might have been a unit in there, I guess. But yeah, this is not looking great for blue right now. I mean, they've been ground down. There's just not that much here. Scimitars versus Soviet division, the entire Soviet division, not so great. They're trying to plug the gaps, but as soon as new units arrive, they just get killed. And yeah, I really do like the use of smoke. So this was pushed out. The mortars are shooting, but yeah, all the arty's out of ammo. That's out of ammo, that's out of ammo, out of ammo. Oh no, these have 6 rounds. Oh, actually, these have got loads of bullets. Okay, so now he's smoking to get the CV back in, which is intelligent. Honestly, the sky's the limit when it comes to smoke. You're only limited by your own ability to click button fast. And your enemies. Oh my god, he's finally doing it. No, I thought that was an artillery. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was a heavy howitzer shell coming for this. These 3 power clusters that are all stood on top of each other, that have been doing a really good job killing everything this game. Anyway, for some reason, Gurkha Rifles leader do not have a law 80. Which is a bit weird. I think they should have a law 80. I mean, all the other Gurkhas do. Top line unit shouldn't have a M72 law. Weird. But that would make it more expensive. You wouldn't be able to buy this for 50 points if it had a law 80 on it. So, swings and roundabouts, right? So, it's still +2 for red because they've got this one. And they're smoking it. Check out the smoke. The issue with 9th is that they don't have a single AT4 in the whole division. Oh, mate, you ran out of smoke. Well, he was going to die anyway. But what you can do is use your own smoke grenade to, like, smoke now. Well, okay. Smoke 5 seconds ago. And, and then he would have lived. Obviously, he would have died about 20 seconds later, but, you know. So, there's not a single AT4 in the whole American division. And it's supposed to be like a top-line division. So, or is it? I mean, it's like an experimental division. I don't know if that means it's top-line. It might mean that it's not top-line. It might mean the opposite. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got him. He got him with the cluster round there. And that means law time. There we go, we got him. So, big wins. Shout out to smoke mortars. Been lots of good smoking going on this day. There's not been a single grad. I'm really upset about that, actually. I mean, it's like having a win button and not pressing it. Especially on this map. Anyway, the tables have turned on this side. Although this seems to have a lot more to do with people not spending their income. Because you then see these massive blobs show up. Which implies that somebody's been saving points. This is a bit ballsy. You might want to smoke it. You might want to smoke that. I thought this was coming for that then. But sure, it worked. I mean... Oh, mate, no. Now the guys who are there to help the CV are behind it. FS Pioneer. They don't have AT, so they are going to struggle against all this. But the grenade launchers, they're decent. It's just not an armoured vehicle, so they will die. Is he going to cap it? He has capped it. He needs to leave now. They're all getting a bit clumped up, and yeah, the grenade launchers lost just on numbers basically, and the lack of armor. I mean, the metalers with the orcs, they don't have armor either. This thing's so funny. Like, that's kind of strong for 40 points. I wouldn't make it more expensive though, because it's not got any armor. But this is the argument with the grenade launchers as well. People say, oh. He's lost a copperhead there. These are still alive, but the 105s are dead. Yeah, this is not looking great for red. I mean, he's got this back. They've got this back. 6 minutes to hold out. See if they can win. They need more infantry up here. Oh, wait, the 105s just moved. Okay, my bad. What was I saying? Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather at the moment. You can probably tell from my voice. I am trying to keep it together, but I'm just noob at life, I guess. What can I say? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, where's this CV? Right, okay, it's coming. So that'll be a +2, but there's only 5 minutes. I think they need more. I think blue needs to put their entire being right now into... oh, wow, they actually made it up to here. That is being reinforced. They need to put their entire being into defending this. And just like, obviously this as well, right? But, yeah, they need to keep this. I think a +2 wouldn't be enough to win. If they take this, though, it's a +4. And that almost definitely will be. Did this drop? That did not drop. That's big oof. The cubs have been left behind by the push, basically. Or are they all dead or something? I don't actually see it. Don't actually see any cubs. Weird. They must have died. Cluster mortars must have got them. I want to see that kill list. Pretty funny. So yeah, another thing they could do with all the smoke mortars, they're a bit far away now, is like smoke this, and try and get down here. Or smoke over here and try and get over there. But I think, honestly, they should have put... They don't have perfect vision, right? Like we do. We can see everything. But I think it would have been smart to just put everything into defending this once this fell. The thing is, though, you can't just let your enemy get to here, because then you can't defend this one either, and you just lose that too. And when you're being pushed back at so fast, it's really hard to set up a new defensive line. Because... So, like, yeah, so they'll take this, it'll be a +4. But now they're in danger of taking this and getting a +6. So, like, where's the blue income? I think they just bought a bunch of planes. I think they just bought a bunch of planes for the last 4 minutes or so, ground units. I think that must have been it, because... don't get me wrong, they're losing a lot of units here. But I didn't see much coming in. Or they might just have ran out of units. I mean, neither of these decks have a particular depth to them. It's a shame he didn't go for that CV one, because that would be the way right now. I mean, look, they're literally just buying minstrels. I don't think they've got anything left. Yeah, because that +4 with 3 minutes left is 120 times 4, which I already know the answer to. It's 480, so it wouldn't have actually been enough to win. It won't be enough to win. It's only a +2 anyway, so I can't count. Oh, they actually got CV in there. Okay, so it would have been a plus... Yeah, it would have been a +4 with that. This hasn't dropped again. So if they could defend this, they'd win. But I think they just bought too many planes. Like, the planes aren't helping. Planes aren't helping. The front line's moving too fast. Like, this isn't working. Oh, mate. And right when the drone comes over to spot all the CV tanks... The drone which I can't view the LOS of. It's another bug. I'll report that. So that's going to put it on a +6, right? Oh no, that's a +2. It's going to be a +8. And that will be enough to win. Wow, what a close game. What a close game. I don't know if there was some honor rule about not using grads or something, like they agreed to not use grads. Red made this really a lot harder for themselves than it had to be, but Blue played a masterful game of, like, you know, like the fact that, like Krepp got pushed back here, and then he took it back, and then, he got pushed out. And the fact that Helljumper actually got back in here after he got pushed out is big news. It's very, very rare. Very, very rare. But yeah, on a +8, which is quite rare, it's about to be a +10. You don't win. You don't win, even if there's a minute left. So it just came down to the moments, right? When things are that close. Like 1 minute left, that's all they had to hold for. When things are that close, just the odd thing, Blue would have won that. And if Red had played a little bit worse, they would have lost that. Thing is, because in the last minute they're going to be on a +10, this will actually look way higher than what I'm saying would signify. But yeah, people get tired, Obviously it's easy to talk for an hour, or however long I've been going for now. Yeah, really good game. Really good game. I'm glad I saw that. There must have been some honor rule against grads or something. Yeah, power to him. Both sides played well. I love the smoke play. I love the usage of the clusters. The copperheads did a lot of work as well, so I can get some cubs. Quite weird to see Ninth not bring those units the whole game. The coffin launcher, it is really good. I suggest you try that if you're watching this Krepp. And yeah, it's won over, bro. And look at that. It was actually really, really close, even on the +10. So if they'd held this... That being said, is there a way to have at least one match on your channel where we win? Crying face, crying face, crying face. I know you don't spoil the results for yourself, but people are starting to say we suck at Warno, when it is really hard to see how pixel perfect Homelander is playing those games. Plus, people make you watch games where they win. But we do deserve those losses, not what I'm saying here. I guess we'll have no choice but to pay for it. Did you know that if you join as a Tier 2 or Tier 3 channel member on the Hippie YouTube channel, the join button is just below the video, then you can get me to cast games where you win instead of losing. It is certainly if they'd held this and this, they probably still would have won. So, wow, look at that. 11,000 kills. So yeah, I think the reason they weren't buying stuff is because they literally had nothing left. You take 10,000 deaths. Yeah, I think they just didn't have any units. I think they didn't have any units. So get that Sewi out of your deck. Put a proper unit in. And try out those coffin launchers. That's my advice. And put some military police next to your National Guard units. Military police vehicle. All you do, click it, click F, click on the mortar. It'll follow it around for the rest of the game. You don't have to worry about it anymore until it dies. So yeah, the 105s aren't good, but MBAD doesn't get 155s, so to be honest, this actually killed quite a lot of units. I loved the smoke from Red. I thought it was really good. I don't understand why there were no grads. Like, where were the grads? Where's that cluster mortar? Oh, wow, it actually didn't do very well. And I guess that's because blue doesn't really have a lot of armor, so there's not actually a lot of things to shoot at. But yeah, where were the grads? Where was the Fob grad 56Y combo? Anyways, I'll see you around. GG.